Hello everybody, Veronica Ray here. Welcome back to my channel. So we're back with One Day at a Time, and it's supposed to be a daily show, but guess what? I got kind of held up with my own emotions and bullshit. Yeah. So I'm back today to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the stuff that's been coming across my feed on YouTube, and it's been really interesting because I have a couple of videos out on my other channel, Intuitive Pathways, about multi-level marketing ploys and stuff in my own niche. And there's been some videos coming out with people talking about their experiences being a part of an MLM and how they got out of it, why they got out of it. I saw a very impressive video from a young lady who was talking about being at the absolute top of an MLM and having to quit and coming clean with some of their tactics, strategies, and essentially exposing toxic positivity. So, being as though I am sort of in that same kind of realm of self-help people, mystics, metaphysical people, just stuff like that, self-help comes through my line of work a lot, okay? And I get a lot of emails from people asking for advice, this, that, and the other. And in my line of work, we're supposed to be making predictions and giving options, not necessarily advice. So I had someone come to me the other day through Facebook, and I get this often, but they were talking about people who were addicted to psychics, tarot card readers, stuff like that, which I happen to have a couple of videos out. And I felt like I should answer that person, so I did. And it was fine, but I have to stay as neutral as possible because there's a fine line when you give advice to people. And a lot of times, especially if you put it in writing, they will literally take everything to heart. They will even blame you if what you say doesn't work out for them, whatever. So I just gave this person a general idea of what I believe regarding psychics, tarot card readers, or any kind of self-help stuff. And I was basically telling this person I felt like we can't really treat an addiction like this differently than we would alcoholism, gambling, drug use. Any addiction is an addiction. And so obviously this person is going to get the proper care for this family and the person he was asking about. So with that being said, there's this thing going around called toxic positivity, which I happen to be on board with. I get slammed a lot for being a spiritualist, and keep in mind, I'm a modern day spiritualist, but I get slammed for being a spiritualist when I swear, and I drop a lot of F-bombs, folks, okay? And I get slammed for being honest. The thing is that this channel here is built on the spirituality isn't all namaste. You'll see that in the intro, or I think I might have removed that, but it's not been deleted. So it's in my list of videos. So go check that out. The truth about real spiritual people, that type thing. And so my thing is, to be a spiritual person, all it takes is honesty. So all of us run our lives in denial at some point, and then we wake up and then we learn something and we move on, right? And so we're not going to be namaste 24/7. That makes zero sense. And there's a lot of people that think that, toxic positivity and hustle culture are one and the same. It's a little different, but they tend to mesh the two, and then they turn it into something like really, really negative. And so I briefly want to discuss that. So I got slammed recently when I made a statement on my community board at my other channel, and I used an example that I was really offended by. I felt like there were people that were spiritual posting about women not being good enough if they're single. Basically, if you're a single woman, then supposedly, allegedly, you are not good enough and nobody will find you attractive because you choose to be single. So I lost it and I made a post. It was real brief. And I basically said, no, I think I did say exactly this, that people who say that to other people need to be punched in the mouth repeatedly because it's BS, right? And then I had some people respond to, I'm choosing to be single and this is why and stuff. I don't think anybody needs to justify their reasons for being single or wanting to be coupled. It's your choice. It's free will. It's who you are. And you have every right to be whoever the hell you are. And the people in your life need to accept that. And if they can't accept it, then they don't really love you, period. So if you choose to be a single woman or man or however you guys go about your business, that should be just fine. So anyway, I made that statement and someone came back at me like, hey, we don't need that kind of negativity. I'm like, hey, how about let's talk about my own emotions here. I'm not the one that sits there and pretends to be an angel. I am definitely not. And I put my life out there. I tell the truth about my shitty upbringing, my effed up marriage or whatever's going on. I'm not going to lie and pretend I know more than you do. We are going through this journey together. I am not the person that's going to preach to you and say, well, do all these things and your life will be perfect. I'll have videos on tips that I've learned recently or even in my, past about how to get through certain situations. So for example, I did a really short video on do this one thing to get unstuck. Why? Because I figured it out and I wanted to share it, but it doesn't mean I know more than you do. So this toxic positivity thing, it's stemming from the very famous, very rich self-help gurus, and people are reacting to this and they're like, oh my God, these guys and girls are super famous, super rich, and they're getting rich off of telling us what to do. And it's sort of that hustle culture, but there's been a couple of female self-help people, I'm not going to name them, they've been called out recently for basically being liars. So essentially, they're living a bogus life, right? They've got insecurity issues. They're fat shaming everybody and themselves in their books. Like, it's underlying type energy. So people are starting to pick that out and they're saying, hey, this is actually quite toxic. So my belief system about this is that, yes, it is toxic. We have to be who we really are in order to help other people. So for example, I'm not purposely trying to help you get a better life or be better. I want you to be yourself. I am here to share my experiences. And if you happen to have gone through those with me, at the same time, we're going to collaborate in comments. We're going to talk about it. Or if you are going through something, I've already been through it, and you know for a fact that we're vibing, then you're going to want to at least hear what I did to get through it. And I am more than happy to hear your suggestions. So it's not me saying, oh my God, look at me, I'm drinking this smoothie, look how perfect it is. And if you don't drink this smoothie, you're gonna be fat forever. Listen, my weight goes up and down. It always has since I graduated high school. It's a struggle a lot of people, not just women, have. And so you're not gonna see me out there trying to project this perfect image. I don't wear makeup on camera for a reason, because this is who I am. I mean, every day I don't go putting my face on, although it's a goal of mine. I have it written down that, you're supposed to put your makeup on every day. Why? Because it's something I would like to do for myself, not because I want to project a beautiful image of me. And by the way, I do look like a totally different person with makeup on, and I've been slammed for wearing makeup because apparently I'm a fraud. So, no, I do this for a reason because one, I want to keep those expectations low. This is what I really look like. If you saw me in the street, this is what I really look like. I'm wearing workout clothes and I'm overweight. And I did that on purpose because it was fun. I love eating and I'm not ashamed of that. Now, I'm a little ashamed of my inconsistent weight training. And I will fix that when I fucking feel like it. And I'm not going to tell anybody, what's right or wrong with that. I'm not going to be writing books about stuff that I'm still going through, And so I always tell my clients who call me who are asking questions like, am I on the right path? And you know what? I always tell people the same answer, and then I'll run their cards or I'll tune into their situation. But usually we start off with, yes, you're on the right path. Why? Because if you're not on this path, you're not going to get anywhere else. You have to complete what we're doing now. You have to learn your lessons. And these lessons are given to everybody, just at different times in different ways. So you're not different than other people. Everybody wants the same thing. An editor, I'm not going to edit this video today. Everybody wants the same thing. It is to be happy. But what makes us happy? What constitutes that fulfillment is different for everybody. And not any of us are identical. You could still do the same podcast, or you can work with someone doing the same exact job, but your sense of fulfillment will come from a different place because you're a different human being. So yes, you're on the right path, always on the right path. Are you making choices that will perpetuate a positive outcome? I don't know. So if you're feeling like something's not right, then that is correct. It is not right. It needs to be fixed. Who's going to fix it? You are. Not me, not anybody else, not your friends, family, psychologist, or anybody you go to get advice, right? So my advice is always go within first. If you are making destructive choices, such as things that could harm you physically, mentally, emotionally, harm another human, none of those things belong on your path. But some people are kind of bred into a different situation where you couldn't help but fall into addiction, or you were being abused. There's a lot of different elements that come into play. And so not everyone's going to get the same advice, right? Which is why I don't write self-help books and say, this is the way it's supposed to be. I'm a writer, but I've chosen to take a different path and approach. So when you read these self-help books over and over and over again, if you feel really, really stuck in a situation and yet nothing changes, it's because you're not meant to read the books, or you're not meant to get the advice. You're meant to go through it physically, mentally, emotionally, in real time, in real life. And sometimes it means stepping outside your comfort zone and just putting yourself out there and seeing what happens. The worst that's going to happen is you're going to go, well, shit, I should have done something else. Well, let me try that. And so things become toxic when you do constant affirmations to the point where you no longer even believe what you're saying. Affirmations like, I am beautiful inside and out. If you're looking in the mirror and you say, I am beautiful inside and out, and you look at yourself like, you're the fattest person in the world, the ugliest, no one will ever love you. Like, the internal dialogue will win. This is common sense. So I'm only going to spread the common sense and say, well, don't do that. Maybe you should just stop doing it because you don't believe in it. And the more you say things that are false, the more the falseness becomes your truth. Does that make sense? So I often tell people, hey, you've done all this heavy lifting, you've done all this self-help, you've gotten your advice. Maybe you should stop doing that and do nothing. Just enjoy the fact that you're alive and go do what makes you happy. Go to work, even if it sucks. Make your plans to get out of the shitty job. Do whatever you have to do that will allow you to get to that place eventually, because you know what? Nothing happens overnight. You think that it's overnight fame, but no. Listen, famous people and what's behind them, everything is carefully curated. I can't speak all of a sudden. It's carefully curated to make someone's image be a certain thing. That's why people always say, oh, you don't want to meet your hero because they're not going to be anything of what you thought they were. Even in interviews, even in when they tell their stories to the press, anything that's media can be manipulated, right? Which is why I'm not putting makeup on my face or editing this video. You're going to hear me sound like an asshole. I'm going to flub my words. It's going to happen, right? So the positivity, the positive affirmations, the constantly reading of the self-help books or podcasts or following gurus, whatever, at some point you have to stop and actually do what they're saying. Like if you follow someone, I personally love Gary Vee because he reminds me of myself, just a masculine version where he swears a lot. He is himself. But there's a rhyme to everything, right? A rhyme to the reason. he posts content like every day, sometimes 2, 3 times a day, and it does get overwhelming. And at one point I questioned myself. I was like, damn, I ain't posting enough content. And then I thought, I have to do all this by myself. This dude has a huge team that has gotten him past 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So I'm here by myself. I don't get any support in doing what I do. I'm also a mother, and I have to raise children. And right now we're still in quarantine-ish because my state's starting to open up, but my husband has not gone back to work. So there's a lot of noise around here. There's a lot of stuff going on. And so for me to have time to come up with that kind of content, which I have already, I just have to actually break it down, do the editing, get the work done. It would take a lot to hire someone to do it, costs money, So there's things that we hold ourselves up to a high standard when we follow other people or when we see what they're doing. And, Gary Vee's in a totally different realm than I am. He's got different goals than I do. And, but I love the hustle mentality because that's who I am. I love it. I will hustle doing anything I love. And of course, I encourage other people to do the same thing. So if you love it, you're probably naturally going to do it. You don't need to be turbocharged to hustle and do what you love. So, and this goes for any field you're in. A lot of times we get stuck in a place, especially in our careers, where we're like, what the fuck? I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't who I am. But remember, we have to take steps to get us to another place. There's just no way we can stand still and then boom, you're successful, right? It just doesn't work like that. And so, I've been doing my work. This is now my 25th year, and I can't believe I can actually say that professionally for 25 years, I've been doing what I do. And I am now expanding what I do. And I have the ability to, reinvent myself or top myself. I have the freedom to do it. I've never been more grateful to everybody that does follow me, and especially to the people who contribute to the memberships, the Patreons, and the Facebook supporters. And so without you guys, there is no me. There is no reason to do what I do at any of my pages or channels. Okay, so thank you guys so much for still watching me, right? And for taking part in what I do. Like I said, I feel like any self-help should be a collaborative effort between the person on the screen in the book and the viewer or the reader, okay? And so that's why I always ask, what do you guys think? I don't ever get rid of my comments. Even if you don't agree with me, I still want to hear it. I want to see where you guys are at. Any kind of advice I give is going to be real basic stuff that I feel like people forget about because it's what I did. And so if something new pops in, I'm like, oh my God, that works for me. I'm going to share it. It's a sharing experience. It's not a, hey, if you don't do this, then you're a fat ass, or whatever. If you don't wear your makeup every day, you're ugly, nothing like that. And so there's no underlying issues that I go through, and I don't projectile vomit onto my viewership. I will actually share my crap with you guys and be like, oh my God, today I suck. My energy's low. Or, oh my God, this week I cannot do public readings, but I'm going to give my readings to my paying people so that they get what they paid for. But my God, I cannot deal with public stuff right now because why? I'm a human being who's no better or worse than anybody else. We go through the same ups and downs. We go through the same energy drains. And then sometimes I just, without any warning, maybe it's the Aquarian in me, but without any warning, need to just stop, drop, roll out, go to bed, take some naps. I took 3 naps this week already. I haven't had a nap in ages, but I needed to nap. That's kind of like meditating for me, because if I don't meditate consistently, I end up getting really tired. So I took care of that this week. And I, of course, implore you all to do the same damn thing. So if something happens where you're like, boom, I can't function, don't go reading that self-help book. Don't go, logging on to whoever the self-help guru is that you follow and go, oh my God, what are they going to do? Oh my God, I'm not good enough because, they're telling me work, 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 work. Yes, in general, it's work, 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 hustle, build, post, whatever. But sometimes it's no, don't post. So today I'm doing a post about not posting, which is literally hypocritical. But I felt inspired to actually talk about this. Now, part of the reason why I was inspired was because of the crap that I'm seeing on YouTube right now. People are like exposing toxic positivity and making these crazy videos that are almost, I don't know, they're movie-esque or something. It's insane. I can't even watch them all because it's just too much going on. But the gist of it is they fell for toxic positivity and they feel like these high-powered gurus are leading them down the wrong path. It's not true. They're actually not leading anybody down any path. What they say and what you understand has nothing to do with what they're trying to promote. However, there are some people that tend to live hypocritical lives, and that's fine. The thing I like about Gary Vee is that we don't know about his personal life. All he is talking to you about is what he knows, which is his job, which is his work. People interview him, that's his content. So they're asking questions that you're asking and he's answering them, and you see those posts like 3-4 times a day. So he's someone I definitely support. Now, there are other males out there that I wish I could support, but all they do is get off their private jets or their rented private jets, making you feel less than average even because you don't have one. So I don't support people that do that. Gary Vee's not flashy. He's in a car. He is at the airport, yes, but you don't see him flashing his jewels and shit like that, right? He does tend to flash his friends a little bit, but also you get content out of that. You get something out of it. And my favorite thing he's doing right now is taking video chats and publishing that as part of his content, answering the questions, listening to people's stories, and you see him listening, and I love that. So that's who I choose to follow when I can, but I'm not looking at him like, oh God, that's the standard, that's the level I need to achieve to be successful. It's not true because I'm a different person and my audience is different. What I do is completely different. And so it's the same for you guys, So I'm the person that's like, fuck this. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't do too much because I know for a fact, especially as a mother, and if you happen to be a mother as well, or if you're just a very successful, very busy businesswoman or man, whatever you got going on with your life, if you have too much going on, you fail at everything. So you have to do one thing at a time. So the Get Unstuck video for me was like, do 3 things in 1 week. If you can complete that shit, you won. Okay. And then you can add on later on. I felt like that was more common sense, so I didn't get into it. But yeah, today I'm super excited to tell you guys, be fucking lazy for once. Give yourself a break. Don't constantly tell yourself you're not good enough if the people on social media you're following is constantly on, because that is a facade, They take their makeup off too. They step out of their pants the same way we do. Nothing's more special about these people, and they're just doing something different than what we do. And so therefore we watch them not only as entertainment, but maybe even for some information or some inspiration to get us in the right direction for whatever we want to do. So you can look at them and go, oh, I'm so glad that they're up and at 'em. Maybe it's my day to get up out of the bed and go put my makeup on, or maybe it's my day to go run on the treadmill, or it's my day to cook a different meal. I don't care what kind of meal. I don't care if it's super fatty and gross. Whatever it is you want to do and however you're inspired is really up to you. So thank you guys so much for joining me. This is what I really felt like I had to share today. Leave your comments in the box below. How are you affected by the positive thinking? And has it controlled your life in any way? Do you know anybody who's addicted to what we're now calling toxic positivity? Let me know, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.